Hello everyone, Reginald Scott here. Welcome to the video. Great to see you all again, and hope you're all doing really well today. Even you, Hambini, I do hope you're having a nice day today. Obviously can't predict what's going to happen after you watch this video, but like I say, I hope you're having a decent day. Let me just get over this lump here. So if you don't know, Hambini has challenged me to a fight. As he referred to it, a cage fight. Now, this is not a fight where you fight with cages, you know, like throwing cages at each other. It is a fight within some kind of confined space with a barrier around it, right? You may be somebody who likes to watch the UFC. That, I guess, you could call cage fighting. Although I'm reliably informed by an old friend of mine who used to fight in the UFC and is now one of the commentators for the UFC and also has a podcast on the UFC, doing very well for himself. He's also got a gym back home in the UK where he trains fighters. Like I say, old acquaintance of mine. Anyway, he reliably told me many years ago that people who do mixed martial arts don't call it cage fighting because that's derogatory. So, you know, he has challenged me to a cage fight. Now, obviously there's no particulars. You know, we've not arranged anything as of yet. But he's obviously expecting a reply from me about whether I accept his challenge. Yeah, so that's what this video is all about today. Talking about whether I'm accepting this challenge or not. Now, here's the thing. If I did accept this challenge, I'm thinking it would go something like this.
I challenge you to a duel. I accept.
Now, Hambini probably doesn't know this because he doesn't know much about me, I think. But before cycling was my hobby, because cycling, although I've done it for most of my life, has not always been my hobby, okay? Cycling was just a way of life for me, a way to get from A to B, you know, a form of transport. Now, I loved it. I've always loved it. I've always loved cycling. But back in the day, what I used to do for fun is learn how to hurt people. Yeah, not emotionally as well. Not like, you know, telling people I don't love them. Although I don't love Hambini, so...
Emotional damage!
You know, take that how you want to. I'm sure he knows that already. No, I mean physically hurt people. I mean, I used to study quite in depth for many, many years, quite a few different martial arts, and there was one I was particularly fond of, and for that one, I used to do 2-hour sessions down at the dojo about 3 times a week, and I would ride my bike to the dojo, do my 2-hour session, and then ride my bike about 20 miles home again. So that's what I was doing for fun. And here's the thing, there is a difference between traditional martial artists and those people who consider themselves mixed martial artists or cage fighters, as we've already talked about. You see, there's a lot less philosophy, morality, and meditation involved in modern martial arts, okay? It's more focused on just the technique.
You're going to secure the wrist, then you're going to break the finger. Break the wrist, break the elbow, break the jaw, smash the groin, break the nose, break the knee, break the ribs, re-stomp the groin, knee drop the pelvis, kick the head, stomp the head, stomp the back of the neck, re-stomp the groin, and exit out.
With the older stuff that I used to do, because I like traditional martial arts, I like traditional Japanese martial arts, they were my favorite. It was more about a warrior's mindset, okay? And this is where Hambini and we differ. When it comes to my perspective on doing harm to people, my main philosophy is that it should only be when absolutely necessary, okay? So the idea of getting into a ring with someone to do them bodily harm doesn't sit very well with me over something as simple as an argument over a bearing, right? Or a bearing puller. That's essentially what Hambini is saying. He's saying that he thinks that this argument between us is so important that it's literally something he's willing to hurt another human being over. And I actually think that that means he's already lost the argument, quite frankly. Because, as the great man Mahatma Gandhi said, you know, first they try and silence you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. And when I saw Hambini's comment on my page, I thought, that's it, I've won. This is not an intellectual argument for him anymore. This is an emotional argument. All I wanted from him was a bit of honesty. You know, after I proved him wrong about the bearing puller, which he's never admitted to, ever, I just wanted an apology. And the thing was, when I first made my first video, you remember that first video, all I actually said in the opening credits, I said that, you know, Hambini's got a good channel, blah, 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 and I actually said some nice things about him.
And he's on YouTube and he makes really great informative videos and it's really, really good. And what I like about a lot of his videos is he brings these more complex engineering concepts and he makes them accessible, okay, to the layman.
And back then I was a Hambini viewer. I was never a fan, because I don't believe in fandom, but I was a Hambini viewer, and you know, if somebody else had attacked him for what I perceived to be no reason, I'd have probably defended the guy. In fact, I know I would have done. But you see, Hambini, by lying about me and lying about my tools, he basically turned me into an enemy, and he destroyed my respect for him. Because I really believed the day I posted that video, I really believed, and you can call me naive if you want to, I really believed he was just going to say, oh, okay, fair point, you're right, you can pull the bearing out, and that's great. And, you know, take it like a man, like I said. But he didn't. Instead, he chose to lie about it. And now, after I've revealed some more stuff about him, he's taken the position that he wants to fight about it. Oh, by the way, before I continue, I need to make an apology. I did actually make a mistake on my last video. And now I'm going to demonstrate what Hambini should have done, which is own up to the mistake. Yeah, he had a gauge on his table, and the gauge stated that it was a 45.98, okay? That's what I saw in the video, and that's what I stated as much. I said, oh look, his standard for his bottom bracket is 45.98, but I've been reliably told by some of my viewers who perhaps watch more Hambini videos than I do, that is not the case, that his gauges are all double-sided. And actually on the other side is the 45.96 that he stated it was.
Check it. So 45.96. Oh yeah, look at that. That's bang on now. Yeah, so now 45.96 goes in. Okay, it's a bit of a push, but it goes in.
And so therefore, I have to say I was wrong. I was wrong. I based my assertion on what I saw, and what I saw was not incorrect, but I was mistaken. So I apologise for that. Now, does that invalidate the other points I made about how tight his BB is and so on and so forth? I don't think so. In fact, what surprises me is, why doesn't he cut his bottom bracket to the larger sizing? The only explanation I can come up with is that because the way his design works is it's walked in from one side of the frame only. And there's really nothing to stop it from walking its way out over time, unlike a standard bottom bracket, which is basically held in by the cranks. In theory, the cranks and the bottom bracket on a Hambini type could move to one side altogether, I'm guessing. So he uses like a retaining compound, basically a glue, to glue the thing in place, and by making it very, very tight, basically eliminates the possibility of that happening. Now, for me, the issue with that is that must put a lot of undue pressure on the actual carbon frame. And there was a gentleman I was watching the other day who was talking about BB installation, and he said that some of his customers had noticed if they put in particularly tight bottom brackets, that the carbon frames were actually cracking under the pressure. You know, that the pressure from the bottom brackets were actually causing the frames to crack. Now, I'm not suggesting that that is happening with any Hambini bottom brackets. I'm merely posing my reasoning as to why I don't like the design. But there you go, that's just my opinion on that one. It's not necessarily a fact or anything. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I have been revealed to be wrong about something. And therefore, I am admitting that I was wrong. I'm sorry. That was pretty easy. I didn't feel any great pain having to admit I was wrong, because it was a genuine mistake. And I think that's what's so tragic about this. What's so tragic about Hambini and his attitude to things is that even when he does make a genuine mistake, and he could just say, oh, you know what, I made a mistake, my apologies, I didn't mean to, you know. And I think the vast majority of people would just say, yeah, that's fine, I ain't got a problem with that, you know, I respect you. I respect you for telling the truth. That's great, thank you. You know, that's what the majority of people would say. At least in my opinion, you know, that's what I would have said. I'd have really had massive respect for the man. Really, I would have done. If he'd have just said, oh, you know what, you're right, you can pull that thing out with a bearing puller. That's it, that's all I wanted. And then, you know what, there would have been no more follow-up videos. And I'd have continued to be subscribed to Hambini, and everyone would have lived in peace and harmony, okay, all around the world. But instead, he chose to lie about it. And so that's where we are today. He is in this position now through his own choices and that decision he made to ridicule me, try and discredit me, and so on and so forth. Which I've already revealed in 2 separate videos now. Now, is it 3 separate videos? That is basically blatantly false. So, where do we go from here? Now, where we want to go from here, according to Hambini, is we want to get into a cage, we want to square up to each other, and we want to do each other bodily harm. Okay? That's what he'd like to do. That is his grand solution for our disagreement. His grand solution for our disagreement is violence. Okay? And here's the thing. Like I was saying before, I don't deem violence to be something trivial. I deem violence to be very serious, and there are only certain circumstances where I deem violence necessary, and arguments over bearing pullers is not one of them. Yeah, this is actually going to offend anyone who does mixed martial arts, but I actually don't consider mixed martial arts a proper martial art, right? Because there's too many rules involved, and this has been stated by a few people that I highly respect in the martial arts community, that any sport fighting is not real martial arts, because there's too many caveats about what you can and cannot do.
MMA is exactly this. You're not allowed to attack the eardrum, the eye, the back of the neck, the knee, this and that. If we do a fight where everything is allowed and maximal intensity is allowed, one of us will be injured. If we want to have high intensity, we close the frame. It's MMA.
Yeah, we need some guidance, some rules, some regulation.
And everything that will allow me to face you efficiently is out of the picture. And you can only face somebody that is stronger with asymmetric tactics.
And what do you mean by asymmetric tactics?
I mean, if we're doing MMA, would be me kicking you on the ball or breaking your knee. This is asymmetric because I don't accept the rule of engagement.
So cheating, essentially.
Because there is no rule. You cannot cheat if there is no rule. So this is very modern to think that there are any rule.
Like if Hambini and I were in a corner somewhere, in an alleyway, and he had boxed me in and there was no way out, and he was going to do me serious physical harm, I would use everything at my disposal. Right? I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't hit him here because that's against the rules. Oh, I can't do this because that's against the rules. No, I'm going to do everything and anything to put that person down.
No, not yet. Not until me and Harvey get the rules straightened out.
Rules? In a knife fight? No rules.
Well, if there ain't gonna be any rules, let's get the fight started. Someone count 1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go.
However devious, sadistic, malicious, and potentially crippling that is going to be for you, I don't care. I'm going to use it, okay? So that's my issue with sports martial arts. I'm going to get in a ring with Hambini and someone's going to tell me that I can't do several different things to him that I might want to do to him. So to me that's a waste of time. And like I say, martial arts or hurting people is not something you do over a stupid argument, right? It's just not. You do it when you have to. You do it to protect your family. You do it to protect yourself, and you do it maybe to protect your country. That's about it. But those are the reasons to kill and to hurt somebody else. Other than that, leave people alone. There's no need for violence, okay? So, no, I don't accept his offer. And here's the thing, it wouldn't achieve anything. No matter the outcome, no matter what happens, whether I win or he wins, it literally wouldn't make a difference, would it? I'll tell you why. I don't think that if Hambini lost, I don't think the attitudes and the beliefs of his fans would change in the slightest. And I don't believe that he would change. You know, if I knocked him about so bad, you know, I rearranged his facial architecture permanently, I still don't believe he would ever admit he was wrong. He would just come up with an excuse about how he lost the fight, you know? And if he beat me up so bad, you know, if he knocked 4 colours of lights out of me and broke my false teeth, which would cost me a good $7,000 to replace each, which I'm not particularly a fan of having to redo, thank you very much. I neither have the money to do that, nor do I want to go through dental surgery to that extreme length again.
I want to hit that guy, but even if I just chipped a tooth, that's like $1,500 to fix. I can't pay for that, and the guy might be packing.
That was after my crash in 2017, when I had to have my face completely rebuilt with titanium plates. You know, I don't want to have to go through that again. And here's the thing, like I say, even if he did beat me up, knock my teeth out, put me in a coma, whatever, would that mean I was wrong? Would that mean that I have lied? Would that mean that he was vindicated? Of course not. I don't think it's a good example to set to my children to get in a physical confrontation with somebody over an argument like that. Yeah? I don't think I'd be setting a good example to my child by saying, Daddy's gonna spend a few $1,000s now to fly all the way back to the UK.
Around the world.
Dude, why is this guy always beating everybody up?
What a glorious day to spend away, flying around the world.
Right? because there's no way we could have the fight here in Brunei, because that sort of thing is not allowed here. So I would have to fly all the way back to the UK. That's going to cost me a couple of grand. Then I've got to find hotels and stuff and, you know, all the rest of it. Time away from family. And for what? So that I can either get really badly hurt and then be out of action and not be able to make money for my family, and all that money gets wasted, and then what? I could have just given that to my kids, right? I could have bought my daughter something nice, or saved up for her education or something, which is now coming up now. She's at school age now, so we're coming towards school age. So we're gonna have to start paying for schools. So yeah, am I really gonna spend a couple of grand just on flights just to get me back to the UK so I can fight this guy? No way. That wouldn't be sensible. And it wouldn't be a good example to give, I don't think. Yeah, one of the reasons I stopped doing martial arts is because I kept getting injuries. You know, and I kept getting injuries which prevented me from riding my bike. And I found that I enjoyed riding my bike more than I did doing martial arts. And so in the end, I sacrificed the martial arts to ride my bike full time. Because like I say, I would get sprained ankles or sprained wrists or broken toes or broken whatever, bones, clavicles. And you can do that, you know, you can do that, and you can do that for a long time, but then you get to an age where you can't even walk straight because you've had so many things broken. Because at the end of the day, neither Hambini or I are professionals. We're not professional fighters, I don't believe. You know, he often pretends that he's the best at everything, I suppose. He's a bit like Andrew Tate, really. He talks all the time about how he's amazing and how he's good at everything. And he says a lot of stuff that's true, you know, like Andrew Tate does. Andrew Tate says a lot of stuff that's based.
The world at large has told you, watch Netflix, eat the bugs. Watch Disney, don't have a sword. Don't walk around with a sword. That's what they want you to do.
But I am not going to base my personal philosophy on what Andrew Tate says, because the guy's a crook. You know, he's a very unpleasant character in reality. He's got a very good marketing team, which is kind of similar to Hambini. Hambini's also extremely good at marketing. I think he's better at marketing than he is at anything else. And that's a compliment. Anyway, folks, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I get back to proper cycling content next. I am very glad. Thank you very much for everyone who watches the videos. And if you like the videos, if you actually appreciate me and the things that I tell you, as some of you have said in the past that you do, the best way you can help me right now is spreading it around, okay? Share the videos, like the videos, comment below. Please do that, because it will help get the word out there. All right, folks, as usual, when you're out riding, do stay safe. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye. I almost made it. I was that close. I almost made it.